Back to the Olympics. So can Los Angeles host what would be considered a car-free Olympic Games in 2028?
Mayor Karen Bass is confident they will, but LA will need to borrow 3,000 buses to make that happen. Los Angeles has a reputation of being a car city, so getting people to adopt public transportation is an ambitious goal, but it's an important one for the organizers of LA 28 to limit the carbon footprint of these summer games.
NBC's Chase Kane talks with LA 28's head of sustainability about hosting a climate-conscious Olympics.
2028 will be LA's third time hosting the Olympics, but it'll also be a first. The first time any stadium has hosted the Summer Games 3 different times. That'll be true for both the Memorial Coliseum and the Rose Bowl. And by embracing these historic venues, LA 28 is also looking toward the future, trying to limit their carbon footprint and going even one step further than Paris.
So we're really lucky here in LA. We'll be the first games to build no new permanent venues. Now, of course, we will have some temporary venues. And so we're looking at how do we use circular design to minimize the impacts of those buildings as well.
And zooming out to the big picture here with hosting an Olympics, hosting an Olympic Games isn't exactly the most climate friendly thing to do. How are you thinking about this, especially with all of the progress and advancements that Paris has made?
Well, a big part of this is building on the lessons learned in Paris and being able to kind of take the next step here in LA. For me, I think about it as climate change being really an existential threat to sport. If you look at extreme heat, an athlete who's coming to perform on maybe the most important sporting day of their life at the Olympics, extreme heat could potentially compromise that performance.
Since you mentioned extreme heat, how are you thinking for yourself?
I think this is an area where we expect to partner significantly with our government partners as well. LA appointed its first chief heat officer in 2022. And so we're lucky that we have local resources to plug into here.
Part of that is working with like LA Metro. They have some ambitious plans underway to expand public transit. How do you describe sort of like what the Olympics can mean for a region like Southern California?
We like to think of ourselves as a catalyst. There's a lot of work, on transit specifically that we need to get done that will improve the public transportation system in LA. And the games can act as a catalyst to help accelerate them, but also to see if we can help people integrate transit into their daily lives.
When we just think about the reputation of Los Angeles, that might be a tall mountain to climb.
It is, yeah. I think the flip side of that is that there's a lot of opportunity.
How do you think sports and athletics and the Olympics specifically can actually be a force for good in the context of climate change and climate action?
Yeah, it's a good question. For us, California's environmental leadership provides a really strong foundation on which to build a sustainability program. But ultimately, I think our power is our platform, our ability to bring people together to inform and engage around sustainability. To me, that's really the unique power of the games, and we absolutely want to leverage that.
This fall, we'll get a report card from Paris 2024 about how well they did at meeting their climate goals. And then early next year, we'll get a detailed plan from LA 28 about how they hope to host their own climate-conscious Olympics. In Los Angeles, I'm National Climate Reporter Chase Kane.